What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be doing the cooling system. So I'm doing the clutch fan or fan clutch or whatever. Here are the new fan blades, and I got the clutch right here. So people usually go electric fan, but I decided to go OEM and keep the clutch fan because there is this shroud that goes around the fan, because the fan is a circle and the radiator is a rectangle. So that means the fan doesn't actively pull air from these corners unless there's this shroud piece. So if you go an E-fan, usually there is no shroud piece, so you can't actually use this old one to work with the E-fan. You end up losing cooling efficiency from missing out on the corners. So that's one reason why. And then also because I was reading, there was this post on an RX7 forum, I think. A guy was comparing E-fan versus just the OEM clutch fan. And basically, the E-fan, it doesn't pull power from the belts. So some people think it's more efficient, so you lose less power, but that power has to come from somewhere. So installing an E-fan actually puts more load on the alternator because you need more current for that. And then that extra load on the alternator takes more power from the belts, from the engine, basically. So comparing both of them overall, clutch fan versus electric fan, the differences are pretty much negligible. I think like cooling performance is like plus or minus 3%. So yeah, based on all of that, realistically, it doesn't matter which one you choose. So I just had to go clutch fan because I'm an OEM plus type of guy. Let's see, other parts, I got new water pump pulley. This is aluminum, I think, whereas the OEM ones are plastic. New belts, accessory, and the main belt. I got thermostat right here, water pump with metal impeller. And then I got a metal thermostat housing. And then I just got a coolant hose for the one that's on top of the radiator. Got the fan tool right there. And yeah, that's the first thing I'm going to start with, removing the clutch fan. Got the tools right here. The old one. So I got this coolant hose out. So the one near the expansion tank, you gotta destroy the hose clamp because it's not like a reusable one. So yeah, I got this out. And I'm actually not gonna remove the entire shroud because you'd have to remove the expansion tank, and I don't want to do that right now. It's more work. But I should be able to reach everything else from here just fine. Here's a new one. Didn't really need to do this, but might as well. Because I replaced the upper and lower radiator hoses, so might as well do this too. So here's the old thermostat. So I had to use this to kind of pry it out because it was really stuck in there. And here's the old thermostat housing. It's plastic. You can see the gasket's all destroyed right here. And the O-ring on here is super squared off. It's like it's not round anymore. So, and for those of you that don't know, it's basically a valve. When the engine temp gets hot enough, it'll open up and then start to allow coolant to flow through into the radiator, which will help cool down the engine. Okay, so thermostat and thermostat housing is out. So next I'm gonna take out the water pump, which is right here behind this pulley. Alright, so I got the thermostat housing and water pump out. So you can see where the thermostat housing is supposed to sit. There's a lot of crap on there, so I'm going to clean it up with a I got this wire brush right here. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to clean up all of this oil that's leaked all around here, so that once it's clean, I'll know exactly where oil is leaking. Okay, so I got everything cleaned up in here. Now I got the water pump, new one right here, metal impeller, and I have water pump and thermostat housing gasket maker, like RTV. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on the water pump around here and on the thermostat housing. So some people use it, some people don't. I'm just going to use it just in case, just to be safe. I only put it around the ring below the O-ring. So I put a bit of coolant around the O-ring because whenever you have an O-ring, you want to I think lubricate it with whatever fluid it's going to seal. That helps it glide in so that it doesn't pinch, because if the O-ring pinches, then it's not going to create a good seal. Okay, so just like last time, for the water pump, I'm going to try to get it around the O-ring and around the rubber gaskets. And before I put these bolts back in, I'm going to clean them up real quick with the wire wheel, or I mean with the wire brush. Alright, so I got all the threads cleaned up, and now I can start putting it in and put everything back together. Okay, so while I'm at it, I'm also going to be replacing the belts. So the tensioner for the main belt is right here, and normally there's supposed to be like a bolt head on here so you can tension it or release the tension, but it's missing. So I was actually super confused, but then it turns out that there's a cap on this pulley right here, so you got to remove the cap. I removed it for the other belt tensioner down here, and once you remove that cap, you're going to need to use a Allen socket. I think it's a 8mm. And then just go right in the center of the pulley, and then just push down on it, and then it should release tension from the belt. And same thing for this one, should be the same. So I got this new water pump pulley. This is metal, I think it's aluminum. It's replacing the plastic one, so I'm going to put that on right now. And I'm also going to be applying a bit of blue Loctite to each of these bolts, because the water pump pulley is going to be constantly spinning, so I don't want the vibrations to loosen these and then they're going to fall out. So we got the last thing to put on. This is the new clutch fan. So I replaced all of this because I'm replacing this because the old one was really loud, and it sounded like a bus was coming by every time I would drive in like low gear. So hopefully this should fix that problem.